Greetings, everyone out there in anime fan land. We're going to be discussing music within anime and how it can kind of make or break a certain scene or even an entire series or movie for that matter. Music is something that I've had a passion for, or it's something that I've enjoyed for a long time, and something that I still enjoy even to this day. And watching anime and seeing this how they incorporate music, and I like watching how they sort of add music to kind of enhance a certain scene, whether they want it to be intense or they want you to feel compassion or empathy or whatever they're trying to go for that certain scene. And even sometimes the opening theme can kind of set the mood for the show or the film that you're watching. Like, let's take Cardcaptor Sakura. I'm currently watching that series. It has a very light-hearted and very kind of joyful opening song, and I feel like that kind of sets the mood for the entire show. And it does. It's a very light-hearted, a very enjoyable show, a very entertaining show. And within certain episodes, they have their couple songs that they have, but the way that they use them kind of enhances stuff. Like I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video, certain songs can enhance a scene or kind of destroy it in a way. And I feel like Cardcaptor Sakura uses the music they have on hand to really enhance the show. Yeah, I haven't seen a bad episode yet. I'm only 25 episodes in though, so I have no idea exactly when or if there's going to be a bad episode of the show. Whether it's a filler episode where they go to their summer vacation house out in the forest and Sakura meets her granddad, but she doesn't know it's her granddad, or whether Sakura is in the middle of trying to capture a Clo card, they use the music to kind of intensify certain scenes, and I kind of like that when they do it like that. And um, with a show like Kill la Kill, that's a really super intense, action packed show, right? So you wouldn't really expect them to use light-hearted and sort of fun music. I guess you're kind of right from the intro. You're kind of hit with this like super intense, hardcore, like punch to the face almost music, and I mean, that's appropriate for the show because it's a very in your face, blam, kind of action packed show, as I said. So the way they use music, clearly different from how they use it in a show like Cardcaptor Sakura or even Toradora, which Toradora still has its moments, I will admit. But Toradora, compared to Kill la Kill, is way more lighthearted. So I don't know. I just haven't seen any anime that's used music in a really detrimental way yet. I mean, I'm sure I will. I've only seen about 40 anime series and movies up to this point as of recording this video. But, and going back to like a studio that's like well known for producing bomb anime content like Studio Ghibli. Everyone loves Studio Ghibli, right? And I feel like the music they use has a very good reason for why a lot of people enjoy the movies they put out. With like Castle in the Sky and Kiki's Delivery Service. I mean, the music isn't the only reason why people watch and still love Studio Ghibli films, but I feel like the music definitely has some part to it. You know what I mean? Like, if a movie has absolutely no soundtrack to it, it just becomes a really dull film, no matter what kind of film it is. Whether it's an action packed Avengers blockbuster film or a movie like 50 First Dates, if there's no soundtrack, it's just gonna be dull and boring and just very unentertaining to watch. So I definitely think the soundtrack that they use, whether it's a blockbuster hit, American film, or even a Studio Ghibli film, or even an animated series like Toradora or Cardcaptor Sakura, I definitely think the soundtrack has a very large part, even if you don't really notice it that much. Like I never really used to pay attention to the soundtrack either, but as I kind of got older and more into how films were made and how they produced them and how they made them and how they got certain shots and stuff, the music composition that they used certainly kind of came back into play, and it's just certainly very interesting that, again, even if you don't notice it, it has a very large part in, I think, how people perceive the show. If the soundtrack isn't good, then I think a lot of people. I mean, the soundtrack isn't the only reason why people are going to like it. I'll admit. The animation style, the story, the voice acting, that all has a part in it as well. But for me, if the soundtrack isn't on point for the style of the show or the emotion that the show is trying to pull at the moment, it just kind of gets thrown off a little bit for me. So I'd like to hear what you guys think down in the comments below, if you feel the same way that I feel or a different way about this. I'd like to start a discussion down in the comments. I'd like to kind of do that. I'll reply to a lot of them. I'll reply to all comments because I'm kind of lonely right now. So I hopefully will see you guys in the next video, and until then, peace.